Hey everybody, welcome to week 5. We're talking about biology of aging, or basically what happens to our bodies, our physical bodies, as we age. One of the important questions that we have this week is the question about trying to cure aging. Should we, and what would it be like without it? So to help mirror what might happen in a classroom, you guys are going to do a group discussion. So this group discussion is maybe a familiar format for those of you who've taken online classes before. What happens is here is the screen in your Canvas assignment, right? So you can get to it from your week 5 modules page, the group discussion number 1. Just click on assignment and this will pop up, or you can get to it through your assignment tab or your discussions tab. But the group discussion number 1 is about should we cure aging? So what you're going to do this week, the discussion starts, and it will go through the following week as well and be due October 1st. So the discussion, right, is meant to be active throughout these 2 weeks. So you'll read through the prompts that I provided, and you'll be answering the questions that I have posed as well. So we're spending the next couple of weeks discussing this topic as a group to kind of help you get a little bit interactive with your fellow online classmates. And what I hope is a pretty interesting and maybe provocative question for you guys. So how do you participate in this? Pretty typical discussion group format. You want to keep track of the conversation as it's going along, be kind of reading over your classmates' responses. You need to, in the total 2 weeks, post 3 times. That includes 1 initial post and 2 replies to other people's postings. It doesn't have to be lengthy. You don't need to get out the 5 paragraphs for all of this, but you do need to have, a couple of paragraphs worth of response, and you want to, more than anything else, show some substance or depth to your process. So something that might be a new idea, posing questions that haven't been talked about, playing devil's advocate, seeing if your response generalizes to this culture or that culture, questioning whether or not someone's proposed answer, solution would extend to this group. So you're wanting to basically move the discussion forward. Think of it in that way. How do I dig deeper or move this forward from the level that it's at right now? So what you aren't going to get points for is things that don't have substance and depth, like, yes, that's very interesting. I'd never thought of that before. That's an inadequate reply. It's a great start to a reply, but then you need to add to that and move it forward by posing something else or pointing out what you thought was interesting about it, or something new about that we can think about, or an article that you read, or a news story that has to do with this. So you need to keep that in mind, that you should be digging deeper with each post. Your initial post needs to be your response to the questions that I have posed, but also needs to provide substance and depth. So it can't just be regurgitation of the basics of what might be in the articles, but you need to show that you have some kind of thought process about this, that you've thought about it, that you've dug deeper than just what is on the surface in the readings. The first post that you make should be done in the first week. So by the end of this week, Sunday, you need to have made your first post. That's part of the requirements of this. It's not in the due date, because you can only post 1 due date on Canvas, but you do need to make your initial post this week. And then you can wait to make your replies to our second week, please, so that everyone will have initially posted before we make our replies. So the second week that the discussion is live is when you start to reply to other people. And your 2 replies will be due by that following Sunday, October 1st. And so that's how this discussion is going to work. I'm going to be keeping track of what people are doing. I might be making some pointed comments after our first initial posts are there kind of help some of the discussion move. But also, I want you to pay attention to the netiquette rules that we have. Since this is an online class and we don't get to talk to each other directly very much, we have to follow the same rules we would in conversation in these group discussions. And the netiquette rules are posted in your syllabus, and just about how to both show substance and depth in your posts, but also to be polite and respectful colleagues to the people that you're posting with, including making sure that you're not just sharing indiscriminately whatever anybody's posting with others, but note that there is a sense of group community or trust here, that if I post something or say something personal, it won't be said to a larger group outside the classroom. So just make sure you brush up on those netiquette rules before you post. Most of you probably do these things automatically, but just in case, look them over, make sure you're following them. And I look forward to seeing your responses and posting. So good luck the next couple of weeks, and I will see you in the other videos.